Everyone, welcome back to the next session in our CSEC Quadratics course. Right, so now we are well into quadratics. We know what a quadratic is. We know um how to identify its coefficients, the coefficients of each variable in the quadratic, and we learned how to factorize a quadratic from the last video. If you haven't seen the last video and you're still not sure how to factorize a quadratic, you can stick around here. I will show you using examples, but if you want to see the actual steps, just drop back to the last video, session 9. Right, so let's see, for example, we were asked to factorize completely, completely 1. Right, so we're jumping back straight into it. Let's go to 3m squared plus 14 and minus 23m. Good. So they ask us to factorize this here. How do we do this? So first step is identify A, B, and C. So A is equal to 3, B is equal to negative 23, and C is equal to 14. Right now we are looking for two numbers when multiplied give us 3 by 14, right? So two numbers when multiplied give us 3 by 14, which is 42, and when added give us negative 23. Now, as I said, a little tip and a little hint in this section as you all are practicing it. Ignore the sign, ignore the negative sign. You don't need it right now. All right, so you're going through your factors of 42 to see which two of them could add or subtract to give you 23. So 1 and 42, no. What about 2 and 21? 2 and 21 could add to give us positive 23, but we want negative 23. So what we have to do there, we have to take negative 2 and negative 21. Negative 2 and negative 21. Now, if you're unsure how this adds to give you negative 23, you will have to go back to adding and subtracting negative numbers, which I said in my first session is one of the prerequisites or pre-knowledges for this section. Sorry, for this whole course. So you all may have to go back, and if you need me to share a video with you all, just message in the comments and say, sir, could you please share a video on how to add and subtract and multiply, divide negative numbers, and I will. Yeah. So now the next step, according to our steps that we talked about before, is you split up your b term into these two numbers. So 3m squared minus, again, it don't matter which one comes first, minus 2m minus 21m plus 14. Good. Now you factorize by grouping. M could come out of the first pair. So m into 3m squared divided by m is 3m. 2m divided by m is 2. Now, between 21 and 14, we know 7 could divide both of them, but this is negative 7. Minus 21 divided by negative 7 is positive 3m. 14 divided by negative 7 is negative 2. And now you have this common term and this common term here. So this will give us 3m minus 2. We could take that out. And what we are left with is the m. Subtract 7 on the outside. And that's it. So nice and easy, right? Let's go again. Number 2. Let's go with 6p squared minus. Let's go with 8 and 13p. Good. So again, now sometimes it could come like this here. Right, now remember the first step is really to arrange it in descending order of powers. P squared, p, then term without p. So when we rearrange this, it becomes 6p squared minus 13p minus 8. Now we are looking for two numbers. When multiplied, gives us 6 by 8 is 48. But when 6 by 8 is negative 48, sorry, because it's 6 by negative 8, negative 48. And when added, giving us negative 13. So you go through, you ignore the signs. Don't worry about this negative sign. You're looking for two numbers when multiplied giving us 48, right? So 1 and 48 can't add or subtract to give you 13. 2 and 24 can't add or subtract to give you 13. What about 3? 3 by 16 is 48, right? But we know 16 minus 3 is positive 13, which means the next way around, which is negative 16 plus 3, will give me negative 13, and negative 16 by 3 is negative 48. Always double check to make sure that the answers are correct. Good? Now, we go again. I just neaten this up here, right? You split up your negative 13p into these two numbers. So it becomes 6p squared minus 16p plus 3p minus 8. Now again, it doesn't matter which number comes where, right? We could the 3p could have come first and the minus 16 could have come here, would get the same answer. Now between the 6p and the 16b, we could take out 2 and p. 6p squared divided by 2p is 3p, and minus 16 divided by 2p is minus 8p. Now this is plus. Now if you notice here, between 3p and 8, you can't take out anything. So what do we do? In the event of this, when you can't factorize, you can't find a term to factorize, always remember that you could always factor 1, right? So 3p divided by 1 is 3p. Sorry, this 8 not supposed to be here. P, sorry, not supposed to be there. And minus 8 divided by 1 is minus 8. So if you can't see a number to factor out, you can always factor 1. So now we have 3p minus 8 in common. So we could take out that 3p minus 8 and we are left with 2p plus 1. Yeah? Let's go to number 3. Now don't forget, you could pause this video, you could slow it down. YouTube have so many things you could do. Go back and try back the questions, right? This is like what the 8th example or something, I believe, right? You all could pause it and go over those questions for yourselves. And then you'll get real-time answers in the video to see how to correct your working. Right, let's go again. Now let's step it up a little bit. Let's go with negative 2x squared plus minus 10, and let's go with plus 9x. Good. So let's see about this one here now. A is negative 2, B is 9, and C is negative 10. We are looking for two numbers when multiplied give us negative 2 by negative 10 is positive 20, and when added giving us 9. So feel free to pause it. Think about what numbers they are. You break up your 20 into factors. 1 by 20 can't add to give you 9. 2 and 10, 2 by 10 is 20, but that can't add to give you 9. 3 can't go into 20. What about 4? 4 by 5 is 20, and also 4 plus 5 is 9. So we are lucky to get those there. Again, you break up your 9x into 4 and 5. So minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 5x minus 10. Now you do your factorization by grouping, right? So if we want to take out the negative 2, negative 2x into negative 2x squared divided by negative 2x is positive x. 4x divided by negative 2 is minus 2. Yeah? And plus 5 into 5x divided by 5 is x. Negative 10 divided by 5 is negative 2. And now you have the x subtract 2 in both of these brackets. You pull out the common term and you are left with minus 2x plus 5. Right, and I believe that this last one should be sufficient for you all on top of the practice papers that you will get to be able to get through this section of quadratic factorization. So let's go with 7w squared minus, let's go with 10, and right, so this will be, right, so that will be that, and 9w, right? So we want to factorize this. So we are looking for two numbers. So sorry, we have to identify a, b, and c. A is 7, B is -9, and C is -10. So again, we are looking for two numbers when multiplied give us 7 by -10, which is -70, and when added, giving us -9. Ignore the negative signs. And again, take notes of all of these little tips I given earlier. Ignore the negative signs. You go through your factors of 70. 1 and 70, of course, can't add or subtract to give you 9. 2 and 35, no. Right? 3 can't go into 70. What about 4? Right? 4, maybe not 4. 4, if so, 4 mightn't do it properly. Right? So, what other number could go into 70? Right? 4 can't go into 70, so about 5. 5 could actually go into 70, right? If we take 5 divided by 70, we know that that number will give us 14. Could these two numbers add or subtract to give us 9? Remember, don't worry about the negative sign. We know that 14 minus 5 is positive 9, which means that when you switch the signs, minus 14 plus 5 is negative 9, minus 14 by 5 is negative 70. Now, you take these two numbers and break up negative 9w into them. 7w squared minus 14w plus 5w minus 10. And then you do the same thing again, right? Everybody, this is something that we could all do now, right? 7w could divide both of these terms. 7w squared divided by 7w is w, minus 14 divided by 7w is 2, plus 5. 5 divide, 5 could go into 5w, w times, and minus 10 divided by 5 is negative 2. And finally, we could get um, the w minus 2 to be factorized. So w minus 2 into the two terms that are outside, 7w plus 5. Right, sorry for the little slurs and slip ups here now. It's like half 10, no, sorry, 10 to 10 in the night. And I'm still doing this. Is the 10th session that I recorded for the day because I really, really believe that this could help somebody in the Caribbean figure out quadratics for themselves. Right? So this brings us to the end of the factorization of quadratics. So the next video that we'll be dealing with is how do we solve a quadratic? Right? So we have to figure out how to do that and what technique we use to solve solve a quadratic equation. Yeah. So that will be it for this video. Again, you can look out for the worksheet. You'll just look for session 10 worksheet at the end of the video, and you can practice it. If you have any questions, you can always message in the comment section and feel free to ask. Right? So everybody, we could get through this. We could get through it quadratics, which is one of the more challenging topics in maths, and you all could do this. Right? So with that being said, that is it for today, and I will see you all in the next session where we'll be learning about solving a quadratic. So until then, take care and stay safe.